A traveling round again. Indiana, Ohio. A battle in Lafayette. Who will win Game 2 of Round 1? Galloway Blue Rockets, Lafayette Raiders coming up next. We welcome you to Round 1, Game 2. From Rickard Arena, the home of the Lafayette Raiders. We are here. It's the Galloway Blue Rockets taking on Lafayette. This is the last live game we are doing until the second round. Maybe. Let's take a look at the lineups. Ishmael Kittica, Brandon Addison, Alonzo Smith, Jay Sean Ladd, and Aiden Bonsford out there for Galloway. Brody Magea, Duke Carnes, Cooper Zachary, Nick Green, and Curion Berry out there for the Lafayette Raiders. Raiders are good. They are up 1-0 in the series. We are underway in Lafayette. In Game 2 of this series, Brandon Addison gives it to Kittica. Here's Kittica, back to Smith. Alonzo Smith for 3. Alonzo Smith for 3. Now here's Magea to Zachary. Zachary to Berry. Curion Berry with a slam. Now it's Kittica to Ladd. Jay Sean Ladd with the slam. 2 dunks in a row. Now, here's Curion Berry. Berry gives it to Carnes. Carnes to Green. Back to Carnes. Here's Duke Carnes. Back to Magea. Brody Magea will miss the 3. Ladd with the rebound. Here's Alonzo Smith. Smith. He has it. Goes up. Misses. Goes up. Fake shot. Keeps himself now to Kittica. Kittica looks, drives it in. Now it's Ladd. Jay Sean Ladd for 3. Galloway is up by 6. Here's Curion Berry. Has it passed to Carnes. Duke Carnes back to Zachary. Cooper Zachary for 3. Great three-pointer by Zachary. Now, here's Brandon Addison. Addison back to Kittica. Kittica has it. Pass to Ladd. Jay Sean Ladd for 2. Make it 10-5. Here's Brody Magea. Now Magea to Berry. Curion Berry with the slam. Now here's Ishmael Kittica. He has it. Kittica goes up now to Ladd. Back to Addison. Brandon Addison will miss the 3. Thunder with the rebound. Now here's Carnes. Duke Carnes will miss. Bonsford rebound. They couldn't tie it up. Kittica back to Smith. Smith gives it to Ladd. Ladd to Smith. Alonzo Smith with a slam. Here's Berry. Timeout, Lafayette. The Raiders calling timeouts. 12-7 Galloway. And we welcome you back here to Lafayette. Here we go. Berry remains in the game. Here's Coons. Dane Coons with it. Coons gives it to Thunder. Here's Green. Pass to Berry. Berry has it. Berry goes up. Misses it too. Ladd rebound. Ladd to Kittica. Kittica looks. Back to Botsford with the slam. Botsford with the slam. Now here's Barry. Barry has it now. Covered by Kittica. Here's Barry. Curion Barry will miss the three. Wu with the rebound. William Wu with it. Zachary covering. Wu goes up. Back to Smith. Alonzo Smith for three. 10-point game for Galloway. Could we see Nick Green be eliminated from the playoffs in this round? Zachary back to Magea. Magea to Zachary again. It's Cooper Zachary with it. Zachary. Look, Smith covering. Back to Magea. He loses it. It's going to be a backcourt violation. Galloway basketball. Now, here's William Wu. Wu has it. Wu looks. Kittica is still there. Here's Kittica. Back to Botsford. Back to Smith. Now it's Wu. William Wu back to Kittica. Ishmael Kittica misses the three. It's Coons with the rebound. Here's Zachary. Zachary has it. Back to Magea. Now it's Barry. Barry's been great all night. Now here's Magea. Magea goes up for two. He will score. Now Kinzer gives it back to Kittica. Kittica back to Kinzer. Here's Landon Kinzer. Pass to Wu. Now it's Kittica again. Here's Kittica. He looks. Great turn by Kittica. He goes up. Misses. Barry with the rebound. Here's Kirion Barry down the lane. Now it's Brody Magea. Misses the three. Kinzer back to Smith. Smith to Kittica. Here we go. Ishmael Kittica with it. Back to Wu. William Wu will miss the three. Zachary rebound. Smith covering him. Zachary to Barry. Barry hangs on to it. Coons there, same as Magea. Here's Barry, back to Magea. Cooper Zachary for three. Nice three-pointer by Zachary. Now here's Kittica. Ishmael Kittica with it. Here's Kittica. He looks. Back to Botsford. Botsford almost loses it. Now, here's the three. It's good. It's Alonzo Smith. And that will end the first quarter. Lafayette is down by 8. The Blue Rockets of Galloway lead it. They have shipped off. Really good game so far. We welcome you back to Galloway. To Lafayette. Webster will miss. It's Wu with the rebound. Here's Wu. Wu. Back to Barton. Riley Barton has it. Pass to Wu. Here's William Wu. Wu getting covered by the defense. Wu for two. Now here is Cam Webster. He has the ball. Webster looks. Who's he going to give it to? Webster keeps it himself. Webster goes up for two. Great shot by Cam Webster. Now here's William Wu. Wu has it. The pass to Alex Stevens. Now here's a three. Riley Barton. Riley Barton for three. Here's Webster. Webster has the ball. Webster holds it. Goes up for three. Cam Webster will miss. Kinzer rebound. Now here's Stevens. Alex Stevens looks. Back to Wu. William Wu. Back to Stevens again. Stevens to Kinzer. Langdon. Kinzer for 3. Make it count. Here's Webster. Has the ball. Timeout. Lafayette. The Raiders down 28-14. And we welcome you back here to Lafayette. Thunder back into the game. Riley Barton remains out there for the Blue Rockets. Carnes and Zachary out there. Here we go. Here's Coons. Coons has it. Pass to Green. Here's Thunder. Thunder has it. Here's Green. Looks back to Carnes. Duke Carnes will miss. Ladd rebound. Here's Alonzo Smith. Pass Addison. Brandon Addison will miss. Zachary rebound. Cooper Zachary back to Oliver. Paul Oliver with it. Back to Zachary. Cooper Zachary misses the 3. Addison rebound. Addison to Barton. Riley Barton misses the 3. Coons back to Carnes. Here's Carnes. He looks up, keeps it himself for 2. Great shot by Duke Carnes. Here's William Wu with it. Wu. Back to Smith. Now it's Barton again. Barton to Addison. Now it's Smith. Alonzo Smith with it. Now it's Wu. William Wu has it. Back to Smith. Alonzo Smith for 3. Great shot by Galloway. Now, here's Paul Oliver. Oliver with it. Back to Zachary. Zachary looks, keeps it himself. Goes up for 2. It's a layup by Cooper Zachary. Zachary has 8 points. The rest of the team has 10. Timeout Galloway. 31-18. Now, we welcome you back here to Lafayette. The Raiders down big time. Kittica and Kinzer are into the game. And into the game for the Raiders, it's Magea and Billo Diallo. Yes, that's right, Diallo into the game for the first time today. Here's Addison, gives it to Kinzer. Kinzer has it. Now it's Wu. William Wu looks. Here's Magea covering. Woo. Looks, spins, keeps it himself. Magea there. Woo almost drops it. Now it's to Addison. Now Ishmael Kitika. Misses the three. Coons back to Carnes. Here's Carnes. He looks. Back to Zachary. Cooper Zachary for three. Have a night, Cooper Zachary. Here's William Woo. Woo has it. Woo. There, getting covered by Magea. Now it's Addison. Brandon Addison for two. Remember, do not count out Lafayette. This game's not over yet, although this first half's almost over. Here's Magea. He has the ball. Magea back to Zachary. Cooper Zachary will miss the three. Kinzer rebound. Here's Kitika. Kitika to Smith. Alonzo Smith for three. Galloway trying to pull away. Here's Brody Magea. Has the ball. Back to Zachary. Zachary looks. Keeps it himself to Carnes now. Duke Carnes misses the three. Kinzer with the rebound. William Woo. Back to Addison. Brandon Addison with the slam.
Number 25.
Diallo gives it to Magea. Magea has it. No timeout called yet. Back to Zachary. Zachary keeps it. Misses the dunk. Addison rebound. Here's Woo. Back to Smith. Alonzo Smith with it. Back to Kitika. Ishmael Kitika for three. 20-point game. Brody Magea misses the three. Kitika rebound. Here's Addison. Back to Kitika. Ishmael Kitika with it. Kitika goes up for two. Misses. Magea has it, and that will end the first half. 41-21 here in Lafayette. Galloway has a huge lead in this one. Let's send it now. Welcome to the Nova Rain halftime show. Our last live broadcast before the second round. Although this is just round one, game two of each game. How about this game by the Blue Rockets? Galloway came out strong. They're down 1-0 in the series, but right now they're up by 20. Galloway, huge lead over the Raiders. Can they hang on? Looking at the rest of the bracket, you can see all the good teams there. Now, Galloway, 20-point lead. Alonzo Smith and Cooper Zachary are your top performers here tonight. We welcome you back to Lafayette. It is a 20-point game for Galloway. Honestly, this is a game that Galloway should not game, but this is a series Galloway should not be losing. Alonzo Smith is playing great tonight. 17 points in the first half for Alonzo Smith. He's looking to add a lot more. Second half gets underway, and it's all Galloway. But Lafayette has the ball. Here's Magea. Brody Magea for three. Lafayette gets 3 points back of the 20 points which they were down. Kitika back to Ladd. Jay-Sean Ladd quickly back for two. Green to Magea. Brody Magea with it again. Here's Carnes. It's Duke Carnes. Back to Barry. Curion Barry with it. Back to Magea. Magea looks back to Barry. It was almost tipped away. Barry gets fouled all the way up by Aiden Botsford. Barry at the line for two.
the line for two.
Now, back live. Here we go. The first free throw for Kirion Berry is made. They are trying to come back. The Raiders are trying to come back and take a 2-0 lead in the series. Here's Berry. Berry, with the second free throw is made. Here's Kitika. How about the Galloway? Trying to even the series at 1, force a game 5. Addison to Kitika now. Kitika with it. Back to Botsford. Aiden Botsford misses the 3. Berry rebound. Here's Berry. Pass back to Magea. Here's Magea. He looks. Green covering. Here's Zachary. Zachary has it. Zachary to Green. It's tipped away. Stolen by the Blue Rockets. Addison to Botsford. Botsford for 3. Make it a 20-point game again. Berry has it. Berry hangs on to it. Carnes there. Now it's Green for 2. Thunder will score for the Raiders. Could we see Nick Green be eliminated from the playoffs early this season? Here's Kitika. Back to Ladd. Ladd to Smith. Alonzo Smith goes up with the slam again. Timeout Lafayette. The Blue Rockets are on fire here tonight.
Timeout home team.
We welcome you back here to Lafayette. 20-point lead for the Galloway Blue Rockets, and they have a huge chance to go and tie the series at 1. Now, here's Green giving it back to Magea. Here's Brody Magea. He has it. Magea holds it. Looks to keep it himself. Here's Magea. Back to Zachary. Cooper Zachary will miss the 3. Addison with the rebound. Addison with it now. Back to Botsford, who will dunk it in. Galloway has 50 points here tonight. Here's Berry with it. Berry. Back to Zachary. Back to Magea. Here's Magea. Brody Magea looks. Back to Berry. Kirion Berry will miss, but Magea will put it in for 2. Galloway is a team that could potentially hang with the Arrows in the next round if they make it. Botsford to Smith. Lonzo Smith misses the 2. Zachary rebound. Now here's Berry. Berry goes up with the layup. He will miss. Botsford rebound. Here's Addison. Addison with it. Brandon Addison goes up for 2. Galloway is not struggling in this one. Lafayette is, though. Here's Berry. Berry looks. Back to Carnes. Duke Carnes drives it in for 3. Kitika with it. Back to Smith. Smith to Kitika. Here's Kitika. Looks. Looking now, it's Ladd. Jason Ladd buries it for 3. Nice shot by Ladd. Now here's Berry. Berry. Hand off to Carnes. Now here's Green. Here's Thunder with it. Pass to Berry. Barry almost goes out of bounds, goes up for two, and is fouled by Aiden Botsford again. Barry has it. First free throw is made for Kieran Barry. It now into the game for the Blue Rockets. William Wu into the game now for the Raiders. Barry makes another free throw. It's Kittica. Kittica with it. Back to Wyatt. Now it's Wu. Here's William Wu. Back to Smith. Alonzo Smith have a night for three. Smith is dominating tonight, and it's a timeout for Lafayette. Now, we welcome you back here to Lafayette. Now, the Blue Rockets have a huge lead over the Raiders. Raiders have the chance, though, to come back. It's going to take a lot. Here's Magea. Magea has it. Brody Magea drives it in for two. Great shot by Brody. Now, here's Kittica with it. Kittica has it. Looks, keeps it himself. Back to Ladd. Jay-Sean Ladd will miss the three. Coons gives it to Oliver. Oliver has it, keeps it himself for two. Paul Oliver for two. Here's Kittica. Ishmael Kittica with it. Looks, drives it in. Now it's Ladd. Ladd getting covered by Thunder. Here's Ladd. Misses. Coons with the rebound. Here's Paul Oliver back there to Green for two. Thunder for two, and the Raiders are coming back. Kittica with it. Ishmael Kittica getting covered there by the defense. It's Magea with the defense. Now here's Ladd. Ladd. He's going to go back to Kinzer. To Wu. William Wu misses the three. Raiders down 58-41, but they are on a hot streak. Late in the third quarter. Fourth quarter coming up. It's still Galloway leading. It's the final quarter of action here from Lafayette. The Blue Rockets will get the ball. Alonzo Smith is out there. Then it's Riley Barton. Riley Barton is out there, as well as him as William Wu. Oliver, Carnes, Coons, Zachary, and Diallo out there for the Raiders. Smith will miss the three. Here's Carnes. Back to Diallo. Diallo to Coons. Coons back to Oliver. Paul Oliver for three. William Wu's out there with Riley Barton and others for the Blue Rockets. How about Barton with it? Barton getting covered by Coons. Now here's Wu. William Wu goes back to Barton. Riley Barton misses the three. Bounced off. Here's Diallo. Back to Zachary. Zachary misses the two. Barton. Rebound now. Here's Wu. Momentum in the middle. Here's Burton back to Smith. Alonzo Smith will miss the three. Diallo with the rebound. Oliver with it. Now Zachary. Cooper Zachary misses. Here's Addison with the rebound. Brandon Addison gives it to William Wu. Wu gives it to Addison. Brandon Addison goes up. Will score. 60-44. Now here's Paul Oliver. Oliver to Coons. Dave Coons for two. 60-46. Lafayette has been on a hot streak since the end of the third quarter. Here's Wu. Has it. Back to Kinzer for two. Landon Kinzer puts it up. Zachary to Oliver. Paul Oliver with it. Now here's Duke Carnes. Carnes looks. Pass to Coons. Coons with it. Now it's Oliver. Oliver looks. Wu covering. Paul Oliver will miss. Smith with the rebound. Now here's Brandon Addison. Back to Wu. Wu with it now. William Wu back to Addison. Brandon Addison will miss the two. Oliver with the rebound. Oliver keeps it himself. Covered by Wu. Pass to Zachary. Cooper Zachary misses the three. Alonzo Smith with the rebound. Smith back to Barton. Barton now looks. Now it's Wu. William Wu to Kinzer. Now Smith. Now it's Barton. Barton to Smith. Alonzo Smith drains the three. Alonzo Smith is going off in tonight's game. Timeout Lafayette. 65-46. 19-point game. We welcome you back here to Lafayette. Great game we are seeing. Alonzo Smith is your New Balance player of the game. Smith, really good job here this afternoon. Now, folks, here we go. Franchise record 3-pointers made in a playoff game. Alonzo Smith holds that with 7. 7 threes tonight. Here's Barry. Barry to Magea. Here's Brody Magea. Magea has it. Looks. Steps back. Covered by Kittica. Here's Kittica. Covering Magea. Magea will go up. Will miss the two. Gets it back for two. Magea misses. Gets his own rebound and puts it up back for two. Here's Kittica. Back to Addison. Brandon Addison back to Kittica. Now here's Kittica with it. Ishmael Kittica will miss the three. Barry rebound. Barry back to Green. Now it's Carnes. Now it's Barry. Here's Magea again. Brody Magea to Green. Green blocked by Ladd. Raiders basketball, but the shot is blocked by by Jay Sean Ladd. Green tried to get the two, but couldn't. Now, here's Barry. Barry back to Green. Now here's Zachary. Zachary to Magea. Brody Magea has the ball. Back to Zachary. Zachary for 3. Now here's Botsford. Now it's Addison. Brandon Addison has it. Now here's Kittica. Passes Smith. Alonzo Smith. Now it's Ladd. Jay Sean Ladd with it. Here's Kittica once again. Ishmael Kittica misses the 3. Zachary rebound. Zachary to Barry. Back to Magea. Puts it up. Misses the 2. Kittica rebound. Kittica with it. Pass to Ladd. Jay Sean Ladd covered by Thunder. Now it's Smith again. Here's Addison. Addison to Botsford. Misses. Barry. Back to Zachary. Zachary to Barry. Now to Magea. Brody Magea from deep. Misses the 3. Smith with a rebound. For the first time in the playoffs this season, we are going to see a series that's going to be tied. Lafayette has no chance of coming back. Alonzo Smith puts it up for 2 with 20 seconds left. Now 15 seconds left. Galloway is going to tie the series and force a Game 5 here from Lafayette. Carnes will miss. That will do it. 67-51 is the final score. Galloway ties the series up at 1. Game 5 has been clinched in this one. Game 5, we'll see you back here. Alonzo Smith is the New Balance Player of the Game, and thank you for watching.